Hey, everybody. Uh, we will get started as soon as a few people gets in here. But my first announcements that I want to do this past Friday, a couple days ago, we actually went out, me and my dad, and we had a good little turnout on the chat on the live. We had some crazy things to happen, but we will be going back maybe Wednesday night and see what we can get stirred up again because we got something going on, and now I've got to go back to finish and see what the what was happening. Of course, we had a. I asked a question about is there a native spirit here, and then that's when everything broke loose. So we're gonna go back. We're gonna take some offerings and stuff like that, and uh, try to see what we can come with there. Let me get my camera here ready. All right. So, hey, Shaw Woman, how you doing? Appreciate you coming in. Thank you so much for being here. We are showing on my Facebook page, Jonathan Myers. I can't get it to go over on our crossover page, so uh, I don't know how to get all that done anymore. He changed everything around. But yeah, we're gonna go back probably Wednesday night and try to get all that done, and um, hopefully we that I will get to do a show on the let's see October the 19th. I might try to do a show because we're actually going to Tennessee to Nashville, so that's going to be a little bit uh uh kind of iffy if I have time because we got really everything booked up, so it's going to be a little while before we actually get there. And so tonight I do have a wonderful guest on. Hey, Sean, how you doing, buddy? Uh, one of our one of my good friends that I've met, and also, like I said, I did get managed to get a book, and it was so awesome. I done read it like 3 or 4 times, and it's I just get more excited every time I see open it up. So it's going to be a pretty cool night. Alex, she is in the background right now and waiting on me. And hey, baby girl vibes, how y'all doing? Appreciate y'all coming in. Thank you so much. And so she is in our hot seat tonight. We're going to find out some things about her, and then we're going to start talking about experiences and her paranormal things, and then we're going to talk about some cool stuff that she's been into and upcoming events. So y'all might can try to purchase her books and stuff online, and I'll get her to talk about that too, and everything. So it's gonna be good. So y'all help me welcome Alex in. So I can get my camera working here. Hey, how you doing?
Hey, hey, I'm doing okay. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good.
Awesome.
So if you don't mind, just tell us a little bit about yourself. You don't have to go through the whole details, but just tell us a little bit, and then we will get on from there.
Yeah, excuse me. Wow, what a start. I'm Alex. I am a paranormal investigator and researcher and author. Um, I've been I've been in this field community for over 20 years now, and yeah, I just love every part of it. I mean, I haven't investigated a lot lately just because of work and travel. And I was telling Jonathan before we started, like, I'm actually going to be heading off to Canada tomorrow for work. So I'll be doing some traveling again. But yeah, so I've written several books about the paranormal. One of them is The Hamptonville Hauntings, Ghosts of the Trivia Clinic, that Jonathan showed. I also write about books about paranormal history, experiences. Yep, and I've been investigating since I was 16, when I could drive. And yeah, it's been a wild ride in this wonderful, weird community.
Hey Tina, how you doing? Appreciate you coming in. So what world have you been to investigate before?
Ooh, I've been to a lot of different places. So I grew up in California, so I did hit up some of the West Coast locations before I moved to the East Coast. So I've investigated the Hollywood Roosevelt Hotel, the USS Hornet, a lot of different places in San Diego, around Old Town, San Diego. A lot of residential cases, did a lot of those. Also investigated the Queen Mary. And then once I moved to the East Coast, the choices and the options I had, spooky wise, just like expanded because there's at the time that I moved, there was a lot more on the East Coast than the West Coast. Now, West Coast has started to catch up,
Mhm.
but there wasn't a lot of places that were readily available for investigating on the West Coast when I was living there. So, but yeah, once I got to the East Coast, it was like, oh, okay. So it was like the Trivet Clinic. Went to a lot of different places: North
Yeah,
Carolina, Virginia, Maryland. Gettysburg. I only live 90 minutes from Gettysburg now, where I'm at, so it's actually really cool to have it so close. But yeah, no, I've been all over. There's so many different locations I've been to.
that's pretty cool. Uh, so have you ever had any type of wild experience that you could never explain?
Yeah. So I've had a few. I've had quite a few. And what's really interesting about this one, it's about this haunted theater that I wrote about in San Diego. It's called the book I wrote about was called The Haunting of the 10th Avenue Theater. I was talking to we were doing like a little mini ghost tour type thing, and I was describing a photo that was in the book. It was this really weird apparition type image that was caught on a hunting camera in the theater. And I actually went to that spot to describe to the crowd like what it was, and something actually grabbed my leg and it startled me. I actually yelped when it happened. And anyone who's investigated with me
No.
knows that I don't do that. Like, I'm very calm, I'm very collected, very neutral, if that makes sense. Like, usually something can move right in front of me and I'm like, okay, that's interesting. I try to stay very, level headed, but when something grabbed my leg, I just went, oh my God. So that was, and I haven't been able to explain that. I haven't had an experience like that since, where I
No.
got grabbed like that. I mean, it was like
No.
somebody grabbed my leg. So yeah, fun times.
Yeah.
I have not been able to explain that, and it hasn't happened since. So
Yeah.
that was a long
Okay.
time ago.
So what really got you started? What made you feel like the paranormal is a thing for you and what got you writing into books and stuff?
Yeah, I had experiences when I was a kid. I think most of us have a very similar origin story. We saw something when we were little. But then I had a very disturbing experience in 2005, going into 2006. Got into a really, really bad car accident. Ended up hydroplaning on a freeway ramp. Got out of the car to basically get my belongings. And then another car came and hit me, knocked me over the guardrail, and I fell 25 feet onto the road below. Landed on the asphalt, didn't land a car, so got lucky there. And yeah, I ended up having, I think what I had was an out of body experience. Um,
Yeah.
and because it was raining that evening and it was also New Year's Eve, and um, living in California where it doesn't rain a lot, people don't drive well in the rain. So the hospitals were absolutely packed. And I ended up sharing a trauma room with another individual. I survived my accident, obviously, because I'm here right now.
Yeah.
But the gentleman next to me did not. And he ended up, I don't want to say attached himself to her. Um, even after I had recovered and was back, going out, um, I was seeing him and getting terrorized by him, basically. And
Yeah.
finally got that resolved. But at the time that I was dealing with that, um, 2006, was a very different world in the paranormal. Ghost hunters had just come out on the airwaves. You couldn't you couldn't find a team like you can now. Um,
Yeah.
so trying to find help or trying to find just somebody to help make sense of everything, it
Yeah.
it was almost impossible. Trying to support from different churches was really tricky. So, like the Baptists didn't want to touch it. The Catholics, we weren't Catholics, so we couldn't get help from the Catholic Church. The Methodists were like, nope. I ended up getting help from the Greek Orthodox
Yeah.
Church. So they ended up helping us. But yeah, we couldn't find help at the time. So after I had that experience, I really wanted to like understand better what I had dealt with, and I ended up starting my
Yeah.
team in 2011. So about 5 years later, I wanted to wait till after I was done with college. Um, and yeah, so basically it was just because I wanted to help people understand like what they went
Yeah.
through, maybe provide that support that I didn't have when I was dealing with my situation. So
Yeah.
really it was just wanting to help my community.
Yeah. That's that's pretty interesting there. How many let's see. I forget now what I was going to ask. Oh, how many books have you wrote, and how'd you get started to write the books?
Ooh, actually, how many books have I written? That's a good question. I've never actually counted how many books I've written. Um, I want to say at least 6 or 7, something like
Yeah.
that. 6 or 7. Um, my very first book was a book called The Haunted Actor. And my theater degree, my master's degree is in theater. So I was really interested in like haunted
Hey,
theaters
guys.
and why are theaters haunted and why was it
Yeah.
like why did it seem like there was all these all these theaters that are haunted, why? So that was really what that book was about. And then the
Yeah.
one I wrote after that was The Haunting of the 10th Avenue Theater. And then I started writing, and then I wrote More Than Ghosts, which is a guide on how to do residential cases.
Yeah.
um After that I wrote The Brave Mortal's Guide to Ghost Hunting. And then I wrote Women of the Paranormal, which is a book about women's history in the paranormal.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and then I wrote Haunted Northern Virginia,
Yeah.
Hamptonville Hauntings. So I think I'm at 6, 7, maybe 8 books now. Like,
That,
something like that.
that's pretty cool. That is very interesting. So which one was your favorite book to write when you was doing it?
Ooh, oh gosh. It's a tie between the Hamptonville Hauntings, the Trivia Clinic book, and Women of the Paranormal.
Yeah.
Um, Maybe Women of the Paranormal because I got to dive into, like, the history of, like, paranormal investigating and,
Yeah.
where we all came from,
Yeah.
and, it was just really cool to see how involved women were in the field, especially one of the first ghost hunters who actually used, like, a scientific approach, like, a very similar approach to what we all use today,
Yeah.
and she was a woman who lived in the 1800s. Her name is Catherine Crowe, if anyone wants to look her up. Um, and also her name is like perfect for the paranormal. I mean, Catherine Crowe, like
Yeah.
it's perfect. But yeah, so that was probably one of the coolest books to write. And then of course the Hamptonville Hauntings, because I got to really dive into the history of the Trivia Clinic and
Yeah.
get to know all the people who are connected to the clinic. And it was just really cool to dive deep into that.
Yeah. That is very cool. I think you put on a little scare fest thing, Parafest, didn't you?
Yeah, so I helped with the first one, and then this past year I took a break because I had a lot of work travel and a sick family member. So I took a break, but so Dustin Crowley of Great State Paranormal, he ended up taking over the Parafest completely. And yeah, I mean, from what I heard, the second year went really well. So I'm hoping to come back for the third year if they're going to do the Parafest again. So
We didn't get to go to this time, so I had Dustin on here a couple weeks ago as a
oh,
guest.
nice.
Yeah, he was really cool.
Yeah, Dustin's a really neat person. I adore him. He's great.
Uh, Also, too, We might try to hit it up next time when they do it. I just got to figure out the time before, because every time we get ready to plan to do something, it's already done passed and done gone. So
Mm.
you know, I can't never be on time on schedule of anything.
I feel that. I feel that. I deal with that a lot.
So what is your upcoming events here
Ooh,
next
well,
year? So
we are in spooky season right now, so my October is very busy. I'm actually going to be in Gettysburg this upcoming weekend. So literally, as I fly back from Toronto, I'm going straight from the airport to Gettysburg for Ghost Riders or Haunted Travels weekend with Sam Baltrusis. Um, and then I will be and then the upcoming. I'll be at Salem Paracon in November. I have a lot of library talks and little things coming up in October. So if anyone wants to come to Northern Virginia and hang out, I'll be around. And yeah, so going into 2026, I believe I might be participating in Mass Paracon, which is a Massachusetts-based event.
yeah,
I'll be at Mysticon in Roanoke, Virginia in February. I'll be at Scares That Care Author Fest in Williamsburg, Virginia, end of February, January, one of those. And yeah, so I'll be around in the upcoming year. Hopefully, Trivia Clinic Parafest. Con Carolinas. So I got quite a few. I'm trying to get some more investigations in this upcoming year too. So we'll
cool.
see how it goes.
Over on Facebook, Dustin just popped in and said, hopefully Alex will be back for the 2026 Pearfest.
Oh, good, good. Oh, Dustin.
And also, Brian John Laverty says thanking me for putting up the Global Ghost Hunt logo, which is starting on the 16th.
Yeah.
Uh, Everybody, please go over and check that out. They have got some wonderful, wonderful paranormal groups going on this year.
Nice.
Let's see here. Uh, Thank you so much for coming in. Appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you. Also, too, Vicky and them and all them's going to be in there. And they do have some extra newer people in the Global Ghost Hunt this year. Starts the 16th, ends with 26th, and everybody is welcome to watch. And like I said, they're going to be. I think they doing a tribute to Raymond Newsom. He had passed away. He's also a paranormal investigator, and he had his own team and stuff. And he passed away unexpectedly back in the early this year.
Mm.
So they're actually going to do a tribute to him.
Oh, that's nice. It's nice that they're going to do that.
Hey, Auntie Mama, how you doing? Appreciate you coming in. I see several other people. Chat's moving so fast now, I can't keep up. Everybody that just come in, appreciate you. Thank you so much. So tell us a little bit about where everybody can find you at on your Facebooks and stuff, and where they can buy the books and stuff.
Yeah, yeah. So you can look me up on Instagram and Facebook, Threads, TikTok, under the spooky stuff, which is my handle. So it's all one word, the spooky stuff. You can also just look up my name, Alex Matsuo. You can look it up on Amazon. My books should pop up. If they don't, that's a problem. I also have a website, alexmatsuo.com. So it's my name, all one word.com. And yeah, I mean, you can also find me on Facebook feel free to send a friend request. And yeah, as long as you're not like creepy, it's fine,
So do you have you done any kind of investigations into cemeteries or stuff like that?
I've done a few. Sometimes cemeteries are a little tricky because public, private property, making sure you have permission to be on the property, that kind of thing. I don't run into problems that often. But like over here where I live in Northern Virginia, And for those who don't know, I live in Arlington, Virginia, which is right across the river from DC. So DC is like 10 minutes away, not even 10 minutes. Well,
Yeah.
depends if there's traffic or not. But I'm right down the road from the Pentagon.
Okay.
So a lot of the land here is federal land, it's government land. So going out to cemeteries at night doesn't happen very often.
Yeah.
Um, at least not without like heightened security and cops and whatnot, and people asking like, "What are you doing out here?" And it's
Yeah.
like, ugh. But luckily, I also live like right next to one of the oldest towns in the country, which is Old Town Alexandria.
Yeah.
So I still have other opportunities to investigate. But yeah, I've done a couple of cemeteries when I was in North Carolina because those aren't as heavily, monitored or anything like that.
Yeah.
So I miss those days. I miss those days. Um, but yeah, so I've done a couple of cemeteries. I did El Campo Santo Cemetery in San Diego quite a bit because that was just out, and the cemetery is so old and small that not that no one cares about it, but it's like you can just walk in at like 2 in the morning and it's fine. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Have you ever like gone out to hang out with other paranormal groups to investigate in the past or anything?
Yeah, we've done a couple, we've done a couple of like collaborative investigating. Actually one of the teams that we worked with this past year, Old Spirits Investigations, they're actually premiering the episode that we did a co-investigation on Wildwood tonight, actually, as this stream is happening. So after you're done here, you should head on over to Old Spirits Investigations and watch the stream from Wildwood. And they were absolutely delightful to investigate with. We've investigated with them a couple times. We did Linville Manor, which is about 30 minutes away from me. So it's in Maryland. Great location. That's actually where we first investigated with them.
Yeah.
And we found that we got along, and it's like, oh, we click and things seem to be pretty cool. So we ended up doing a Wildwood Sanitarium up in New York with them.
Hey, Karen. Appreciate you coming in. Thank you so much. So, uh, how do you like to start your investigation? Do you like just to walk through the place and investigate while you're walking, or do you like to sit down and let spirits come to you and then move to
Ooh.
another location?
That's a good question. Yeah, so it varies. It depends how familiar I am with the space. If it's someplace I've been to for the very first time, if it's my first time there, I will usually do the walkthrough. Just I'm one of those like I like to know the history. I like to know the place. I like to see like the context of everything.
Yeah.
Because when I start investigating and I start asking questions and I hear or my medium picks up on the answers, then I have the context I can go with.
Yeah.
Um, we will usually keep most of the team in the dark, though, about what the building is or what it was about. Some places are a little more obvious. Excuse me. I turned into a pumpkin after 9 o'clock, just so y'all know. So, um, you know, um, but yeah, so I usually like to do the tours. But then after that, I do like to just kind of sit and we have this term and it came from a former team member, learning the language of the house or learning the language of the location.
Yeah.
So that could mean like just sitting in the quiet, seeing, what noises are we hearing? Are we feeling anything in particular? Is anything like disturbing us, or are we getting some really unsettling feelings? Just to kind of get a baseline. We also do baseline readings too, like especially with EMF. We just want to make sure like we have an idea of like how much is going on with like the electromagnetic fields. Is it coming from a source or is it coming from something more spooky? We do that too. But usually we just kind of go with our intuition of like where we want to start. Like whenever we go to the Trivet clinic, we just always start in the basement. We just start in the basement and work our way up. Um, Seems to work. Also depends on the time of year too, because if it's really hot, then we'll go down into the basement because it's cooler. If it's really cold, we might go up. We might start up first because that's heat rises and it's like okay, it's warm. But yeah, so there's a lot of different ways that we approach it. We don't have like a set protocol every time. We just kind of go with like our feelings, our intuition.
Yeah.
Um, or if our medium is picking up on something right away, like, I need to go into that bedroom over there. It's like, okay, well, let's go, So we're flexible. We used to be very rigid, but we found that we missed out on a lot of opportunities by being so rigid. So we're like, you know what? Let's just roll with it.
Yeah.
So, and it's actually it has made for a much more pleasant experience.
Yeah. We got a question for you here from the audience.
Ooh.
So, Alex, have you ever channeled a spirit?
It's interesting you ask that. Yeah. So speaking of the Wildwood episode of Old Spirits Investigations that's airing tonight, we were at Wildwood Sanitarium that last year. Uh, I had been there a couple times, and each time I had been there before, I always had this feeling like this really uncomfortable feeling like my fight or flight would kick in.
Both times.
And like I said before, I'm a very level-headed investigator. I'm very neutral. I'm just like, because I also don't want to influence like the feelings of the environment too. And I'm just like, okay, I'm very level-headed. But at Wildwood, anytime that I've been there, beautiful location, but I have always felt like I don't want to be by myself here. And there's like, that's weird
Yeah.
because I'm usually not like that. I can hang out in the trivia clinic all night by myself and I'm
Yeah.
fine. I've done it before. It's good. And you know how haunted that place is.
Yeah.
But at Wildwood, I was like, I don't want to be alone here. Like, I'm just not feeling it. And so we were there last year and I was actually trying to find the kitchen, and Wildwood is like a maze. It's really like a maze. Like, it looks small from the outside, but it's huge in the inside. It's huge. So I was trying to find the kitchen. I ended up going down into the basement, and from where I was in the basement, I could see I could see steps, and I could see like the spacing in between the steps.
Yeah.
And I saw this face with it's this bald-headed person, looked very weird, looked very strange, and I saw that thing and I just went, "Nope." And I just went up I went back up. I went back up where I came. And so after that we started to do the Estes. We did an Estes session upstairs on the top floor, and I was under because I find I can go into my zone a lot easier doing the Estes. So I went under. um and apparently something came through and said, we should go down to the basement. And so we went down to the basement, and I went under again and apparently I don't remember a lot of this because I was under and I was also in a zone, but apparently I was saying things like, she's mine, she belongs to me, I'm with her. And then a really creepy laugh came out. And
Yeah.
so my friend T like pulled the headphones, pulled the blindfold off of me, and was like, Alex, like, think of Gouda, my cat. Think of Gouda. Think of Chris, my husband. Like, think of all these things. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I was like, what? So I talked to a friend of mine afterwards who's like an Estes method specialist. Like, she's really done a lot of study into it. She's written academic papers about the Estes method. And she's like, yeah, Alex, I'm pretty sure you channeled something there. And I'm like, and it was the weirdest thing because I don't remember a lot of it. I don't remember that experience, to be honest. I only know really what happened because of like the recordings, like that it was recorded. Other than that, it was almost like going under anesthesia for surgery.
Yeah.
Like, it was just like, I don't know. It was weird. It was very weird. I don't really know how to describe it. It's not like I was sitting there watching that spirit talk through me. It was just,
Yeah.
it was almost like lights out. It's
Yeah.
very, very bizarre. And like I said, I don't remember a lot of it at all. I do remember the creepy laugh though. Not that I remember making the laugh, but I heard the recording and I'm like, oh God, that came out of me.
We got another question for you over here on Facebook. Dustin, if you could only have one piece of equipment, what would it be?
Probably an audio recorder. Going back to the basics, tried and true
Yeah.
audio recorder. It'll document everything. Can't see it, but it'll document everything. And it's all there on recording. And if you catch something spooky, it'll it'll be recorded.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's got to be tried and true audio recorder.
That that gives you a good source to have good evidence right there.
Yep. Yep, exactly.
And we got another question for you right here. Have you ever run into the land white spirits? White spirits.
Land whites. That's actually um that's Nordic, isn't it? I will say I have not. That is I only know it's Nordic because I think it's Nordic. Because of a friend of a friend of a friend from a lecture I watched, but yeah, and they briefly mentioned it. But yeah, I'm not super familiar with it. That is something that's on my list to research though.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure there'll be a book coming out about it.
That could be a book. Yeah, I'm actually working on a book right now about uh, Japanese spirits,
Yeah.
Japanese ghosts and spirits. So yeah, that's what I'm currently working on right now. So actually, I got my research books right behind me. You can, if you ever are curious about what I'm researching, like zoom in on this shelf because this is where I put all of my research books because then it's easily accessible and I can just grab it
Yeah.
while I write. So if you're ever curious about what I'm researching, just look at this shelf.
uh, if you had to go to um, if you had a trip paid for and everything's paid for, you flight, you hotel, you food, and whatever, where would you like to go to investigate? What would be the number one place for you?
Ooh, it's going to be Ireland or Scotland. I want to go to castles. I want to investigate all the castles.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah. I go to London for work quite a bit and yeah, it's oh my gosh, going to the Tower of London and just walking around, not investigating obviously, but just walking around the Tower
Yeah,
of London, just the energies and those stones and the histories that took place. Yeah, I want to go to Ireland and Scotland. Just take me to all the castles. Like just leave me there overnight. I'll be fine.
that'd be very cool. Which we're actually going to the UK next year, so
Oh, you're going to have an amazing time.
we're going, me, my cousin, and my wife, we're all three going to the UK, and we're gonna stay for 9 days, and we're gonna
It's going to be
find.
amazing. You're going to have an amazing time.
Um, so you mentioned earlier about doing helping people like private locations. Have you done a lot of private locations?
Actually, when I first started out, yeah, pretty much almost all I did was private locations, residential cases. Um, and those are tricky, especially in the past, I want to say 5 or 6 years, especially since social media has boosted quite a bit with like, TikTok and YouTube. We actually don't really do residential cases anymore just because the climate has changed so much.
Yeah,
It's really hard to know like who's being legitimate and genuine with their experiences.
yeah,
Um, the last couple times we were doing residential cases, we had people asking us, we had clients asking us to live stream our investigations in their
yeah,
home or put it on YouTube. And at that point, I was like, I'm not here for the clicks for helping people. I don't want to live stream like a private residence. I don't feel comfortable doing that. Even with permission, I don't feel comfortable
yeah,
doing that. So social media has changed, I guess we call it the business, has changed the business quite a bit or the community quite a bit. So we don't really do much residential cases anymore. We'll do it on a case by case basis. Usually I have to know it's I feel more comfortable if I know someone, like it's a friend of a friend type of
yeah,
thing. And we're very clear. It's like, we're not going to put your investigation on the internet. We're going to keep it private. And yeah, so that's pretty much what we do. I just, like I said, I just don't I'm just not a big fan of like how I really appreciate social media and what it's done for like awareness of the paranormal
yeah,
and introducing me to some really cool people in the paranormal. There's also a darker side to it where it's like there's people who want the likes and the clicks and the subscribes who will pretty much exploit their own home, their children, um, for that. And I personally, I don't want to participate in that because that's not what I'm here for.
Yeah.
Like, I prefer not to, even though I'm on a radio show or I'm on a show right now, I don't like a super lot of attention on me, like in that kind of way. I'd rather get attention for like my books or things like that. And I'm like, so.
Yeah. Dustin also has another question for you. What's your favorite haunted spot in the DC area?
Ooh, in the DC area. Oh, that's a tricky one. Um, I would have to say Linville Manor. It's up in Maryland. It's in Upper Marlboro, Maryland. They were actually just on a TV show. I want to say it's like most haunted houses in the country, something like that. I think it's an HGTV show.
Yeah.
I've been there several times, and it is a beautiful location. It also functions as an Airbnb. Um, and Win, the owner, and his partner Chase, they are great people. Um, and the spirits there are quite interesting. It's a very interesting location. So I'm a big fan of it. Anytime I have people coming to visit, spooky people, I say, hey, let's go to Linville Manor. So it's a great place, and it's only like 30 minutes from me, which is even better. So and about probably 15-ish minutes from DC. So
Okay. All right. We're going to take a little quick break right quick. So I'm going to get me some drink and we'll be right back and then we'll finish up with the show. So everybody hang out, chill out for a minute. I'm going to put my thing on my mute and my camera off, and then we'll go take us some drink right quick, and we'll be back about 5 minutes, 5-10 minutes somewhere in that area. Then we'll come back and then we'll get started back. So everybody hang out with us, and I'll see you in a little bit. Sorry about that.
I was like, oh, surprise.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Uh, I had to go say good night to the kitty cats. They about
Aw.
yeah, we got some new little kitten.
Aw.
Uh, we named him Sammy, but after 2 days, she decided to name him Butterscotch. All these orange and white, I mean, orange with like dark orange spots on him.
Aw, that's sweet.
He is in everything.
How old?
He's about 10 to 12 weeks old, somewhere like
Oh, oh, that is a baby. Oh my goodness.
that.
Oh my goodness.
But he's just about as big as our older cats, our 11, 12-year-old cat.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he is a monster.
It's gonna
Uh,
be a big kitty then.
yeah. Uh, so getting back, after I have a few questions, then we'll get to the chat and have a few more questions for you and everything like that. Then we'll close her out. Um, so what's it like to be in the paranormal when you're walking somewhere and somebody finds out you into paranormal and you got write books stuff? They sit and they start talking to you?
Yeah, it actually happens a lot. A couple of my coworkers know that I do this, and I was I helped develop a training for our sellers. I work for a really big company. I guarantee everybody knows which company it is. I'm not going to say who it is, but I work for a really big company. That's a big name. And I was helping develop a training for sellers, and we had a really fancy dinner on one of the nights. And our host, our MC, who also knows about this life, I was able to get them the space, the Daughters of the American Revolution space, because I'm also a daughter. I'm a member. So I helped them like find the space and book it and everything. With send it over to the logistics coordinator and everything. But yeah, so our MC was like talking about how they got the place. And then he's like, "Oh yeah, and Alex is actually an author, and she writes books, and she writes ghost stories, and she talks to ghosts, and I think this is like corporate America." And I'm sitting, and I wasn't mortified, but I may or may not have hidden behind a door. I may have walked off and like hid a little bit. I was like, "Oh my gosh." Just because like it's one of those things where it's not something I openly talk about at work a lot, because when people find out you're into the paranormal, it's either oh cool, and then they tell you like their experiences, or they're like, oh, it's like, oh, okay.
I
So
get that a lot.
yeah, it's almost like the bless your heart, like it's almost like the bless your heart, like, oh, okay. And I'm like,
Let's see. If you have any kind of advice, what would it be to somebody that is trying to get into the paranormal or trying to start their own group? So what's your advice to them?
ooh, that's a good question. I would say read a lot of books, like read books. There's good information on TV, but at the end of the day, TV is entertainment. So I would say, try to find like books, read books, and then if the author is still alive, reach out to the author and talk to the author. I would also say keep your social circle small. Um, it's very tempting to want to network and collaborate with as many people as you can, especially when you're first starting out. But there's, you and I talked about this before we started, like there's a lot of drama in this field. And sometimes I think we all bond with people too quickly in the community these days, especially if there's like a large following from one of the people. I think we bond a little too quickly, and then it disintegrates just as fast.
Yeah.
Or you start to really get close to people before you really get to know them, and then it kind of leads into drama. So I would say keep your circle small, at least with people that you trust to like talk about personal life things with. Because I have a lot of Facebook friends and I'll chat with people, but people don't know most people don't know where I work. They don't know like although some people are probably Googling right now. It's like, Alex Matsuo, LinkedIn. Um, a lot of people don't know, like, all my cats, or, how often I talk to my family, that kind of thing. So,
Yeah,
just keep, I would say, keep your social circle of close colleagues very small.
yeah.
Still network and connect, but, just be very limited on how much you share with people. So,
What would be the advice on equipment for 'em? They need to
ooh,
buy high dollar equipment or just something cheap from Walmart.
I'd go with something cheap from Walmart. I find that a lot of the paranormal equipment out there today is like really expensive, and it shouldn't be. It really shouldn't be, especially when you find out things like REM pods or junior theremin kits. You can get a junior theremin kit for $15 on Amazon. It's not going to look pretty like a regular REM pod. Like,
Yeah,
you'll have to build that. Um, but it will do like what you need to do, what you needed to do. So I would say, get the cheaper stuff from Walmart. I mean, the investigators from the Victorian times, they just had a pen and a paper,
yeah,
um, they were taking notes. So you don't have to have like the big fancy equipment, especially since a lot of it is not scientifically proven. I mean, we don't even know what a ghost is. Like, we don't know what a ghost is made of. It's not like we've captured one. It's not like Ghostbusters.
yeah,
We don't have them in a containment area where we can study like how exactly that how they're made or what. So, and if you don't know how your equipment works, how do you know that it works?
yeah,
Quoting my friend Lauren Hellickson there. So I would say, don't spend a lot of money like in this, because at the end of the day, it's all not questionable, but we can't really prove it works,
yeah,
So we can at least track like anomalous readings, be like, oh, that's weird, that's strange that happened. But I would say, don't go broke, don't go into debt for this, at least not until at least not until you know for sure you want to dive deeper. I do know some skeptics in the field who do shell out like hundreds, if not thousands of dollars in like really fancy equipment. I would say do that once you know like you're in, like you're
yeah.
committed. And you may not know you're committed until like 5 years in. So just be
Yeah,
prepared for
you
that.
don't want to start out buying that high dollar stuff and then just have it sitting in your room for.
I have a surveillance system that my team bought.
Yeah,
We haven't touched it in like 3 years, and I'm like, maybe I should just sell it, because I'm like, we're not using it. We're not using it. So, yeah.
that's funny. Uh, yeah, that's and also start small in locations. Do should somebody starting out should they actually go do a private location like homes or just stick with where you had to pay to practice where you go try to help somebody?
I would say if you're just starting out, do the pay to play places first. Go to the public locations. Because if you screw up, you're screwing up in a public place where probably a lot of screw ups have happened.
Yeah,
If you screw up a private case, there's a lot more at stake there. There are a lot more consequences,
yeah,
because at the end of the day, you're not the one who has to live in the place. So
yeah,
I would say definitely do the public locations first until you get really comfortable. And then once you start feeling comfortable, also really just evaluate why you want to do private cases. Like, is it to help people? Is it to collect data? Just really know why you want to do it too. But I definitely do the public locations first.
yeah.
Practice, get in there and practice.
Learn your equipment really good before you start doing that other stuff.
Exactly.
All right, we do have a question here for you. So, Alex, do you know what your animal spirit are?
I don't actually. I don't. I'm gonna be thinking about that. I don't know actually. You're asking really good questions, this person.
Uh, uh, Anything else you want to? Oh, I know now. About your roller derby.
Ha! I knew
That's,
this.
how'd you ever get started in that? What made you want to do that?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, so I actually got into roller derby in 2008, 2009. That was when I first got into it, and I was playing bank track roller derby. So like the track that's slanted.
Yeah.
And I did that for about 3, 4 years, and I loved it. Like, I don't know, like I had a friend who had tickets to a game, and basically she was like, "Oh, you should come with me. I think you would really like this." And after the game, I was like, "Okay, how do I join the league? Like, how do I get into this? Because this is the coolest thing I've ever seen." I absolutely fell in love with roller derby. It was love at first sight. Like, no questions asked. This was something I wanted to do.
Yeah.
And then I moved to North Carolina in 2013, and I actually ended up taking a really long break from roller derby after that. Um, and I went back to roller derby in 2022. So I found a league up here where I live, Northern Virginia, Nova Roller Derby, Northern Virginia Roller Derby, and yeah, I've been playing with them ever since. So about 2, 3 years now, I've been playing roller derby, and
Cool.
I actually played a game yesterday. That's why I have this little brace on, because I took a fall and I landed on my thumb and my palm, and I think I might have overextended it or something, because it's actually, I don't know if the camera will be able to pick it up, but it's a little bit bruised. Oh yeah, the camera does pick it up.
Well,
Yeah. Yeah.
oh,
So it's smarts. Like I took for granted how much I use the paw, like this part of my hand.
yeah.
So
Good Lord.
yeah, so it hurts. It hurts
That,
if anyone's curious.
does that get really aggressive with some people?
It can, yeah. There was a game that we played not too long ago where we kind of felt there was a little bit of retaliation from the other team, so there was a lot of illegal hits. So there are rules in roller derby, like of how you can hit people, because at the end of the day, everyone is a volunteer. We all pay to play, and you don't want to like get injured. Like, injury is not the goal of playing roller derby. So there's hits that are legal and hits that are illegal, and we were dealing with a lot of illegal hits at this game, and I actually ended up messing up my knee a little bit afterwards, and I was like, "Oh, this is lame." Because if you get hurt in roller derby, that's like time off from your job, time off from like
Yeah.
duties at home. Like, there's a lot. So yeah,
So if you get hit and fall down, are you out or you just get back up and keep going?
you just get back up and keep going. Yeah. 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 So in roller derby, how it is you have um 10 skaters on the track. There's one skater from each team that has a star on their helmet. That is the jammer. The jammer is the one who scores points. So, and jammers can fall and they get back up, but if they get hit out of the track, they have to enter back like behind the person, whoever hit them. But yeah, so basically the jammer gets points for every person from the opposite team that they pass.
Okay.
So the blockers are there to make sure that the jammer from the other team doesn't get by, but also they'll play offense to help, their jammer get through. So it's like you're playing offense and defense at the same time. Um, it's fun. It's a lot of fun. I love skating too, so it's a good time.
Yeah, we used to watch that when we was little, me and my brother and stuff. When they took it off TV, said it was too violent and stuff.
Oh my gosh.
But it was so cool. I actually watched a thing on YouTube about it the other day. It was wild. I thought, man, that'd be pretty fun to get into. But
There's leagues near you if you want to go watch it. There's leagues. Like, they have games and stuff. You should go watch.
yeah, I wouldn't ever be able to join. I'm getting too old for that stuff. I'm brutal now.
I mean, I'm almost 40 and I know skaters who are like in their 60s who play. So it's never
Yeah,
too late.
Lord. Yeah, Lord. Oh man, that's so cool. I do thank you for talking about that. That was so awesome.
Oh, it's fun.
Uh, Anybody have any more questions for our guest tonight? Or are we going to get on out? If you don't mind, Alex, after we get done, to stay on for a few more seconds, then we'll let you go
Cool. Sounds good.
after everything's over with.
Of course.
I'll give y'all 5 more minutes to figure out what questions you want, and we'll finish. Let's see. And I do want to say I appreciate you for coming in and being a guest tonight and everything. And
Of course. Yeah. Thanks for asking me. I'm glad you asked.
you're always welcome here anytime. What and so well, we ain't gonna have no more questions. So thank you so much, everybody, for coming out tonight. Thank you, Alex. We're getting ready to close it out. And like I said, Wednesday night now, everybody, we're going to try to go back live again from the woods where we was at this past Friday. Uh, Hopefully, we'll get something out of it again. We did come to the conclusion that we did pick up a Native American spirit there the other night. So we actually got I guess it's something like a coyote sound. And when I asked that question, and then after the coyote sound, every dog in the county and the state and across the country actually started barking and howling. Seriously,
Wow.
it was crazy. I mean, literally crazy. Then after that, my light went out on my tripod, and so me and my dad was out there in the woods, pitch black, dark. You couldn't even see 2 inches past your nose.
Wow. Huh. Okay.
So everybody, thank y'all so much. Appreciate each and every one of you, and I will see all y'all next time.